Good evening, and welcome to my kitchen. Let me do that one more time. Good evening, and welcome to my house, and to my home, and to my kitchen. Let's do it again. Good evening, and welcome to my kitchen. Perhaps the worst lit kitchen in all of New York City. But I'm willing to let you see me in a new light, so to speak, as I teach you how to make PEPCORN, which is perhaps my favorite snack of all time. I think I have finally solidified the recipe for creating a delicious, savory, a little bit spicy popcorn. Here's what I'll do. I'm gonna put the reaction shot that everyone wants to see. I'm gonna put it right now. Oh! Now you can see just how good PEPCORN is, and that's gonna make you wanna watch to the end of this video. I figured here in the quarantine, it was a good idea for me to share this snack with you, so that way you get to enjoy this snack alongside me virtually, because you never eat PEPCORN alone. Let's start with the kernels. My grandma 2 years ago purchased all of her grandchildren popcorn kernels for Christmas, except my sister and I, who are both grandchildren of my grandmother, live together, and so we received 2 of these huge buckets of popcorn kernels, and so we had to get really into popcorn, and that's why we started doing wok popcorn. The wok is super useful because every time a popcorn pops, it goes to the top and then the kernels shift back down on the sides into the main source of heat. And then those ones pop and it just keeps it going like that, and it forces all of the popcorn kernels to get popped and you don't get any extra burning. It's so much cheaper, it's so much more fun to do, and it's so much more delicious. And those are the 3 things I look for in a food. I hear you, you're saying, Brian, why not just start popping the popcorn? Well, let me get to it. I'm gonna get to it. This is my journey, and it's your journey that you're taking with me. How do people make good cooking videos? How do people make them?
What?
I'm just gonna steal every single technique from Matt Hunziker. I'm gonna steal every single editing technique from Matt Hunziker, and I'm just gonna put it into this video, and that's how I'm gonna make a good video.
Hey!
Now that I've decided to edit this thoroughly, let's create some PEPCORN. Now you say, Brian, this wok is comically large. That you must use all of these kernels in order to fill this up? No, you rube. You must use a half a cup. That's why these last forever, because you only need a half a cup to make a shoot ton of popcorn. Let's talk about salt. I have about 18 different salts in my house. Here's some that says spicy. Here's one that's in a special bowl that I made in my pottery class, and it's super chunky. You might say, Brian, why don't you use the fanciest salt in order to make PEPCORN? And the answer is that if I use my fancy salt, it's gonna make the PEPCORN shitty. Oh, I just said that. I just worked so hard to not say the word shit.
You can bleep it.
I can bleep it. Kosher salt is really useful for most recipes, but it's not useful for making popcorn, and I'll tell you why. It's too grainy. And that's why you use a special coffee grinder / spice grinder. Currently there's already a spice in it. I'm gonna get to that. But you use that in order to make super, super, super fine theater salt. When I talk about theater salt, all I'm saying is that it's astoundingly fine. It's like a little fine powder. Can you focus in on that? Delicious. Ooh. This is so small that it's gonna perfectly coat all of the popcorn super well, and it's gonna dissolve in the oil we use to pop the popcorn. If I'm using a half a cup, I prepared a half cup. I prepared a half cup measure. Where did I put it? The correct proportion of popcorn kernels to theater salt is cup to teaspoon. So if we're using a half a cup of kernels, we're gonna use a half a teaspoon of theater salt. Ooh, pop that right up in there. Let's pop the salt in there. Where did I put my half teaspoon? Half a cup of kernels, half a teaspoon of salt. God, I wish I had a more attractive kitchen. I have to do a lot of graphics work in order to make this visually interesting. Now, if we just wanted to make normal popcorn, I'd go ahead, I'd add some oil right up into there, a neutral oil, and then we'd be done, okay? But that's not what we're making. We're not making popcorn, we're making PEPCORN. And what makes PEPCORN? It's Lao Gan Ma. Spicy chili crisp. Kind of like a chili oil, except way more savory. It's not super spicy, but it is astoundingly delicious. You just pop that open. Ooh, I love it. Now for a half a cup of kernels, I usually use 2 to 3 tablespoons of Lao Gan Ma, depending on how savory you want it. But we're hitting a point of contention. Not contention, what's the term that I'm looking for here? We're hitting a trouble spot, and that's the difficulty of seasoning popcorn. If you season it at the beginning, you put all the stuff into the wok, that stuff is gonna get charred, it's gonna get gross, you're not gonna want it in your popcorn. But if you put it in at the end, it's gonna make your popcorn wet and soggy, and no one wants wet and soggy popcorn. This is the thing that troubled me for so long. I've spent so many sleepless nights just thinking about how I can put Lao Gan Ma onto my popcorn without it ruining the popcorn. And boy, do I have a solution for you. It's called a bowl. We're gonna take our tablespoons of Lao Gan Ma, we're gonna squeeze out the oil into the wok, and then we're gonna take all of the solids and we're gonna put it into the bowl for later. I've washed my hands, that should be a given. You should always wash your hands before cooking food.
And wash the ingredients.
And you should wash the ingredients. Well, you don't have to wash these.
Yeah, but generally.
Generally, you should wash the ingredients. And I just squeeze out all that oil. Oh, that's wonderful. So now that we have our salt, our Lao Gan Ma oil, and our kernels in the wok, it's almost time to pop. But it's time for a special part of the recipe, where I ask for you to decide your own taste. It's time for that part of the recipe. That part of the recipe is now. Lao Gan Ma is not super spicy, but it is super savory. If you're looking for a spicy popcorn, this next part is for you. It's time for red pepper powder. I have this huge big bag of gochugaru. I'll mention you could probably use a different chili oil or a different red pepper powder, but if you do that, then it's not gonna be pepcorn because I'm teaching you my recipe for pepcorn, and so I legally can't be, I'm legally not responsible for what you create. So since I bought the big crunchy parts of gochugaru, I needed to make it a little bit finer because again, in order to make good popcorn, you want all of your spices to be super fine. This is exactly what you would do with the kosher salt. I just decided I would only show you with the red pepper flakes because I wanted to save some filming time. So now that we have this super fine, we're gonna use this at the end of our recipe and we're gonna sprinkle it on to taste, depending on how spicy you like your popcorn. We've got our crisp off to the side, we've got our kernels in the pan. Now we just need to add oil, which I'm now realizing I have never actually measured how much oil you need to put in here. 2, 3. That's like 4 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Any sort of neutral oil will do. Now it's important to make sure that the salt is completely dissolved into the oil. Now you could do this with a spoon if you want, but I just usually use my hands. I can already tell this is too much oil. This is the correct amount of oil, so I probably only needed to use like 3 tablespoons. Again, it's better to just do it by sight. Just trust yourself. Trust your heart, let fate decide. To guide these lives we see. Put your faith in what you most believe in. Phil Collins should score another Disney movie.
You're right.
I am right. Tinfoil time. You just crimp it up on the edges. We're gonna turn the flame onto super high heat. We're gonna wait for those popcorn kernels to pop. As soon as they do, I'm gonna start shifting it around over top of that high flame. And then as soon as those popcorn kernels start to take like 2 to 5 seconds between pops, I'm gonna stop the heat, gonna put it back on there, gonna let them pop a little bit more, and that's gonna be it. Go. All right, so now that the heat has started, it's time to puncture some steam holes into the top. I go ahead, I got myself a sharp knife right here. I go a bing bong, 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 bing, and then we're done. All right, the steam holes have happened, the pressure is on, I've performed exquisitely. This is not the best place for me to be. It's a little dangerous. Once we hear the first pop, I'll leave. Ooh, it's time. We've heard the first pop. I'm gonna go ahead and start moving around that oil in the bottom. Agitating it a little bit. The thing I love about making pepcorn is that it's super easy to do. Even a dunce like me can do it. You can do it too. I can't talk anymore. The popping is starting to get too big. Now, if you burn your first set of pepcorn, that's totally fine. That's how it was when I first started doing popcorn like this. But the beauty of popcorn is that it's super cheap and you can keep trying again and you're gonna get good at it eventually. It's time to stop. we don't want to take this popcorn out of the wok just yet. We got to turn it into pepcorn. I'm gonna get to it, Karen. We still got to turn it into pepcorn. Go ahead and take off a little bit of your tin foil. Take your Lao Gan Ma, the stuff that you didn't put in when you squeezed out all the oil. You want to just pop that in right on the top. And now it's time for you to consider how spicy you want it to be. You want to just take however many pinches, I would say, is a good way to do it. You just want to sprinkle it in on the side right there. Okay.
Oh, be careful.
Be careful of your hands. Pop a towel over top of it all because sometimes it's hard to put the tin foil back on. You just really want to go all out on this thing. We're looking good. And now allow me to plate my pepcorn. You might notice that some of the Lao Gan Ma and the powder might have stuck to the bottom. You want to go ahead and scrape that out. Then you've just made your pepcorn, and all you got to do is eat it. Oh! Oh! Oh, it's so good. It's got that savoriness and that hot spice cuts through it at the top. I don't know what I'm saying. I've never had to review food before. I could eat 7 bowls of this. I'm gonna probably eat more bowls of that during this time that I'm at home. But the best part of this is to share it with friends, which I understand right now we might not be able to do, which is all the more reason for you to get banging at making pepcorn so that the next big party you're at, you can share it with all your good pals.
Send them the video so you can all make pepcorn.
Do you want me to say like and subscribe too?
No.
I'm not gonna say that then. That's pepcorn, and it's probably the first and last cooking video that I feel qualified to make, and that I probably ever will make. Unless some extenuating circumstances changes that. This is the height of human creation. How could it get better than this? I'm done. I've peaked. I'm quitting. Gonna go live in the woods. You gotta turn off this camera. I'm gonna finish this.
Okay.
I don't care what it costs. I want you to fucking bury this guy. I mean, who does he think he is, huh? Who is he? Did you say Ryan or Brian? Oh, there's a bunch of them. No, that one was pretty good. I'll give him that. Why did you call me again? I called you? That doesn't sound right.